Hello and welcome to the pre-launch of the Wake Up and Change the World Global Summit. This is a premier event and I am super excited. I just got so overjoyed earlier that I actually started crying because so much emotion just welled up. I'm just blown away by how much support and love and connectedness has come through putting the summit together. Literally people from all around the world that are joining in as an attendee and as a speaker. And it's from such a young age that I really always felt that global connection. And it really hurts me seeing any form of disconnection or discrimination or inequality or violence that are hurting each other. I mean, I was 10 years old when I was observing the world and decided I want to write a book about how society determines your destiny because I needed people to understand how we were treating each other and how the impact that that had. And 3 decades later, ended up writing the book that was actually called Embrace Your Power. It's a healing journal of self-discovery because over those years and all the growth and learning and moving into multiple roles throughout various jobs, mostly in social services, but other types of industries as well, that I wanted to understand this human behavior. What is the source of all of that fear and hate and misunderstanding? And so, how do we get almost 8 billion people to get along? How do we start cultivating that love, respect, and understanding? How do we return to who we truly are, which is love and spiritual sovereignty? We hear so many times that we're spiritual beings having this human experience, but to really understand what that means, to be open to everything that we're here to experience. And a lot of those things we've forgotten from past lives that we start to remember again, like there's a dismemberment that actually happens, right? And some call it a dark night of the soul or a rite of passage or different initiations we go through to remember how to heal, how to empower ourselves, how to love, how to reach out and connect with someone else. Right. So then we remember, we come back to our spiritual sovereignty. And if we truly are spiritual beings having this human experience, we need to come up with ideas and methods and practices that help us keep our spirit intact. Because when we don't have our spirit intact, then craziness happens, chaos happens. And so that is something that I am so grateful for with this summit because we have over 25 incredible speakers that are going to share their journey and how they did the inner work to make the outer work effortless, how they were so purpose driven in their life that no matter what self doubt or suicidal ideation had come about, what kind of drama or trauma showed up in their lives, they knew that they were here for a purpose. They knew that there was something they had to do. They knew that there was something more that had to be had. And so I am so grateful that you are here. These speakers are going to be talking about healing and empowerment. We have a few sessions on that. Also about consciousness and spirituality, connecting with your life purpose, thought leadership and change, because yes, we're moving into that now, new perspectives, new mindsets, new ways of being in the world where we are connected, where we are gathering and sharing our love for the planet and the joint mission to uplift humanity at this time. So I am so grateful that you're here, whether you're here in the Zoom or with us now, watching on the replay later. Thank you for being here. And we have a special guest tonight, which is Daniel John Hanneman. And he is known as, I want you to see how many people are actually paying attention to the emails, because he's known as something. And the first person who can write that in the chat is going to get an energy scanning from him. These energy scans are phenomenal. It was a divine download that Daniel had. I experienced it a year ago. In fact, it's how this summit was even seated. During that session, Daniel was letting me know about all my chakras, what was blocked, what was flowing, what I was wanting to put out in the world, and if that really resonated with the energy that I was having at that time and the frequencies. And I had forgotten all about part about the summit. And I watched it again a while back. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this summit. And it had just come in my inbox from this lady who put on the first teleseminar ever, Melina Lewinsky. I can't remember. No, I wanted to say Monica Lewinsky, but it's not that. Melina Lewinsky, anyway, something like that. I apologize for messing up the name. But she, every 3 years, does this how to do a summit thing. And that's what I told Daniel that day, a year ago. I said, there's no way I'm going to do a summit. It's way too much work. It's overwhelming. I don't have a clue. I'm not really technically inclined. And yet that seed was planted. And then this information showed up in my inbox of how to do it. So I thought, I need to do this. And then I really felt spirit move me further and further into creating this, and that I had to do this at this time. I mean, it's interesting that we're doing it here in March because the planets and the cosmic energies are having some real power plays this month. And it's really important that we get these messages out to be grounded, to connect, and to stabilize and self regulate so that we can move into the world we all know that we're co creating right now. To move beyond the mundane, the old structures that are breaking down, they need to, because they were never built to work. They were never built to last. Robin was sharing that with me the other day too. And so I know some of you are here just for a short time. I know Jared had to leave fairly quickly. So we're going to do a few introductions of the speakers, starting with Jared, and then we'll get into the energy scanning and do some more introductions and what to expect coming up when the summit officially launches next week. But I just want to take a moment before we get into any of that to just land here. That right now, in this moment, we are here. We are here together. We are united from vast parts of the world at this moment. Just feel into that. Maybe look around your little Hollywood Square Zoom boxes here, Muppets, and see who's here. Who's here? Who's sharing this space with us today? Radiating your love into that. Just breathing it in, taking a moment to breathe, which I know is a big thing for Jared, and he'll share that in a moment. And remember why you're here. Not just here in the Zoom room or watching the replay, but think about why you're here. When you were younger, how did you envision the world? What were you wanting to do and share? What delighted you? What filled you with joy and wonder? Can you tap back into that? And if not, that's okay. It'll come. We're just breathing together for a moment. Let's just take a breath in. Holding space for each other. And then releasing and letting it go, letting go of any outcomes, attachments, need, or want. Just being here fully as yourself, wherever you may be now in your life, wherever you may be now in the world. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. So Jared Schuster's here, and he's one of the speakers in the summit talking about breathe and believe. What's that all about, Jared?
Hey, Jennifer, thank you. Thank you so much for welcoming me. It's so nice to be in this space with you all, and for anybody watching the recording. What an honor to be a part of something, let alone called Wake Up and Change the World. Because isn't that why we're all here to do? When you opened the session today, you talked a lot about remembering. And one of my teachers in my life, a shaman that I spent time in Ecuador studying under, he would say, we're not here to learn anything new. We're here to remember what we've long forgotten. Those words stick with me every day. I've been on a journey around the world. I've studied with yogis in India. Like I said, I spent a year in Ecuador studying with shamans. I've healed from a near-death experience. I've studied what's called Himalayan Kriya Yoga, which I call Himalayan Kriya breathwork. They're ancient evolutionary breathing techniques. And until Kriya really came into my life, I had all these tools, but I was really ungrounded and uncertain of how to really use them and put them into play, how to do this work on remembering. It wasn't until I adopted a daily consistent meditation and breathwork practice that it all started clicking and all started making sense. We've all heard the infinite benefits of meditation. A lot of us have heard that buzzword breathwork now. Science has backed it up. Of less stress, less anxiety, clarity of mind, more motivation, clarity of steps in your life, connecting to your dreams. But I have found that first and foremost, when we learn to connect with our breath and slow down, we learn how to start showing up more for ourselves. And in order to start remembering who our true selves are, who our divine nature is, we have to take that first step in being consistent and showing up for ourselves. And so that is my whole intention and my whole gift for what I will be sharing in this summit. It's a 45-minute interactive experiential workshop where we will connect. I'll lead us through a short Kriya breathing journey. You will walk away with your own personalized mantra, words spoken by you, for you, from your highest self. You'll learn a little bit about the limiting beliefs that hold you back from being your greatest self. We'll work on shifting those limiting beliefs and how you can really step forward into your greatest self. And we'll talk about taking action, the thing that most people struggle with the most, of where to even begin. So that's my little teaser for what's ahead. Like I said, it's so cool to be a part of this summit. It's so awesome to be surrounded by all these light workers who are going to be sharing over the course of this summit. And for all the soon and up and coming light workers watching this, the people who are already doing their work in the world, we're here to connect. We're here to raise the vibration. Community is everything. Community is our way forward. And I just feel so honored and grateful to be a part of this community. So like Jennifer said, my name is Jared Schuster. You can find me at sparksofconsciousness.com. That's my business. That's my life's work. It's where I house all my offerings. So I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to connect with you. And until then, my friends, I'll see you in the cosmos.
Thank you so much, Jared. Amazing. You're doing amazing work. Keep doing what you're doing. Incredible, incredible. And Adele Anderson's also here. She's going to be featured on day 1 in the healing and empowerment category, I guess you can say. And she has quite the story. Adele, you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. Thank you. Hi, I've got so many new faces here, so I'm very excited because I'm looking forward to meeting everybody. I'm Adele Anderson. My evolution began, well, probably when I was born, but more often when I was 27, I was in a plane crash, and that plane crashed and flipped in water, and I began to drown. I had a near-death experience where I actually felt my body separate from my mind or from my spirit. It changed my belief in what was possible and my belief in life after death. And that set me on a spiritual journey, and loved every minute of that. But there was still, I don't know, maybe things, just life in the way, who knows? And then about 2.5 years ago, my husband was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. It was fast, it was furious, it was horrifying, and he died. And so that kind of shook my foundation in life after death. And from that, it took quite a recovery. Just the idea of what grief is, I had no idea. Like, I'd lost grandparents, pets. My parents, thankfully, are still alive. But it just, I don't know, put me on a purpose to help people that were struggling with deep emotional losses. Because I got so, with all of my spiritual knowledge, I got my feet knocked out from underneath me. And I kind of thought, well, how can we help people that are really struggling? And I'm sorry that I'm feeling emotional. Must be the love in the room. But anyway, so that's what I do. I found my recovery was really body, mind, and soul. you know, as someone who plays on the water, I know that we find our direction with 3 points of reference when we navigate. When we're looking at medicine, we're looking for 3 points of reference to find a syndrome before we can diagnose. I'm a natural health practitioner, have been a homeopath for 30 years. I do NLP, so I really love the mind sciences. And through my grief recovery, I really found that we needed that 3-legged navigation stool in recovery, and that was body, mind, and soul. And so that again made me check out, like we hear those types of words and then we say, well, what does it actually mean? You know, we hear body, mind, and soul all the time, but it really wasn't until I committed to my spiritual groundedness and growth that I really found relief in my loss. And so that's again something that I wanted to share with people to ease that long-standing inner pain that you can have. I really feel that when you lose a significant person in your life, it becomes a soul wound. And so how do we heal that? And so that's what I'm going to share at the summit. So thank you.
Thank you, Adele. Thank you so much for sharing that. And the session is going to be incredibly healing and empowering as well. And so I'm actually going to add a few links to the chat just so everybody has them. These are some links that you might need. I only did the last one. Sorry, hold on. Let me set it all up. This is for anyone who doesn't already have a free ticket for the event. Get on that now, because as you hear, there's going to be some really powerful sessions. And I highly recommend that you consider the All Access Pass. It's only $47 until Monday. You're going to get all 25 sessions through that. That gift preview is going to show you all the gifts that you get with that pass, as well as the speaker schedule, so you can actually see who's speaking on what topic and when, so you can start adding that to your calendar. And if you do have the All Access Pass, you can even put in, like if you did one a day for 25 days, imagine the momentum and the impact you can start to have in your life with all of that, and to be able to listen to it again and again. So consider that. You can have a look at it there. There is something happening on Tuesday. There's a couple of live events there as well. The panel I'm leading on Fulfill Your Destiny, but also Strengths for the Struggle. And the reason why I put that link there is because it's separate. It's a group that does incredible diversity, inclusion, and equity work. And all the people that are in that kind of field that are serving others and humanity in some way, serving the world in some way, and to help us sustain each other, to support each other. It's a very intimate group. It won't be recorded. So if you do want to come, you can make a point of that. It happens at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. For other times, you'll have to convert it, but you can sign up there at Soul Focus Group. And then our secret community is who's sponsoring the summit, sacredyou.love. I'm part of the community. A few of you are part of that community. There's tremendous amount of tribes. So if you're ever looking to find your vibe, your tribe, this is the place to do it, because everybody is there and meeting each other and connecting each other in multiple ways. So I put the link for that, so you can check all of that out there. They do like a 3-week trial for $1, so you can even just check it out, explore, see what you think of that. So all the links are there. Remember to save the chat. And as we're talking about energy and some emotional overwhelm, empaths are really tuned into that, right? And for quite a long time, I didn't know how to navigate that, how to self-regulate that. And now that was when, like at the time when I was learning about that, only 4% of the population was an empath. Now over 30% of the population is an empath. That means more people are sensitive. We don't want to shut down. We don't want to turn off our gifts if it becomes too much. So we need to find ways to regulate that. And Sue Rumack is an expert. She's an empath trainer. And Sue, if you could just share a couple minutes about what it means to be an empath and how we can regulate and what you'll be talking about in your session.
Thank you. And first, I'd just love to say thank you for inviting me to all of this, because speakers, the whole idea of changing the world in this way is just so mind-boggling. And thank you. When it comes to being an empath, as Jennifer just said, years ago, the number was clocked at around 4%. And in recent times, as chaos happens, as people struggle through trauma, and as we know, there's been a lot of struggle and a lot of chaos and a lot of trauma in the past 3 years alone and ongoing, more and more people have been forced to the wall, to opening up the part of themselves that they had shut down very early on in life, which is that feeling, sensing, being with the world as a physical sensation. Empaths feel physically all the energies of all the people around them. And it isn't a mind thing, it's actually a body thing. And that's what makes it so complicated, because when you try to fix yourself using only your mind, going, it's my imagination, I can master this, I can do this. What ends up happening is you're dealing only with your mind. And it's the body talk, it's the body sensation that you begin to have to learn to read. And as an empath trainer, that 30%, actually the 30% was actually clocked at probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and I'm sure it's way beyond that now. As an empath trainer and overwhelm strategist, what I help people do is learn the body talk. I called it body talk way before it was called somatics. Same thing, similar thing. And it's learning to read what you're picking up from everybody else as a body sensation, understanding what that is, and then working with your survival brain, your limbic brain system, and your body's nervous system to co-regulate all of that into a healing modality for yourself. And it takes a little bit of help to learn how to do that. But once you learn how to do it, you're basically waking up everything that you already knew and using it. So as an empath, I was basically awake. I've been awake my whole life. I never really got to hide it, because I came from a family of really energetically connected people. My mom was a dreamer. My dad was an inventor. So for us, it was never shut down because of your imagination. It was like, bring it on. Let's see more of that. And I learned to really embrace that in the family, but I had to hide the outside world. I've had 4 experiences in my life where I've been told, and now you're going to die, and came really close. The last one was about 2 months ago. And here I am, still here. And I believe that it's because I'm connected to my guides, my spirits, my angels, and we have those conversations, and they never let me give up. So I don't give up, I don't give in. And I believe that helping people to transition through life's trauma and chaos using that quantum energy connection is really how people are going to get through the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and teach it to their children. So it isn't just teaching one person, it's teaching one person who will model that behavior unawares to their own children, and their children will learn it organically. So that really is my life purpose, is, as Jen said at the very beginning, keeping spirit intact and managing the chaos. You said that right at the very beginning of this recording, or this conversation. So my conversation in the summit is, would you believe, how to transition through life's trauma and chaos using quantum energy fields. And I'm going to be speaking on March the 9th at 10 a.m. PST, 1 p.m. EST. And I look forward to many people showing up and learning how to do this on the day, and many more on the replays. So if you need to find me, I'm available anytime really at my website, which is courageouspath.com. And the one thing I'd love to leave you with in my 5 minutes of fame is, instead of promising everything and struggling, perhaps we as individuals could start really small. I know we have big visions, but start really small and achieve great impact, and then go on to the next little small thing and achieve more great impact. So that's all I have to say for right now.
So beautiful. Thank you for that, Sue.
Pleasure.
Yeah, good insights, good insights. And I saw you were the one who knew that Daniel John Hanneman is the blockbuster, who's known as the blockbuster because he busts out all our blocks.
Can I just go one more thing? Actually, I wasn't. I said block master, not block.
Oh, you said block master. No, we're gonna bypass you. He is a block master.
It's supposed to be somebody else. It's not supposed to be me. Okay.
Blockmaster. Okay, you almost had it, and thank you for being
Almost.
honest about that. I misread that. Tiffany knew the Blockbuster. So, Daniel, John Hanneman, do you want to introduce yourself? Share a little bit about you and the energy scanning process you take people through, and then maybe demonstrate it on Tiffany.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. So thank you. Grateful. Just I'm blown away by the quality of people that are here. You're not in the circles like this all the time, even other summits and stuff. It's just so beautiful. And uh I must say I give all the credit to Jennifer. It's a radiation of her consciousness, everybody coming together. So thank you. So yeah, a little bit about me is what can I say briefly? I come from a background of feeling very invisible. So I always talk about I was Mr. Invisible and everything early in my life, especially. I was literally called Mr. Invisible in high school because it blended right into the walls. But yet I was one of those people that I guess was in the know and didn't know it at the time. So I be able to predict things and tune into things and all that sort of stuff. Probably not the level of some of you guys, but I was tuned in, and I struggled a lot with anxiety, depression, and all that stuff because I couldn't find my way. Nothing made sense to me in life. So to make a long story short, I had to face the sense of inadequacy. Even like when I got my master's in clinical psychology, you're asking too many questions and you're really tuned in, and what's that all about? They're praising me, and also like, yeah, but you're asking too many questions, you're too deep basically. And so I was defective, I guess, in their minds. So if you're innovative, as my dad says, you get punished. So they held me back a year in school saying I needed remediation. It's like literally like you have got to toe the line or you're not graduating. And it's like, okay, all right. So I ended up doing that. So can you guys relate when you're told you got to toe the line, you're making too many problems? I bet there's a lot of people here that relate to that. So anyway, I mean, again, fast forward through my career doing therapy with people and all those jobs and all, I have a background in sales too, selling copiers, believe it or not. And so I do all these things, got online in the 2000s and came out. I'm like, okay, I was filled with metaphysics and empowered with that from Science of Mind. Many of you probably have heard of that before. It's not Scientology, it's Science of Mind. And I just really, it just became my devotion at that time in my life. I'm like, this is it. This is it. This is life. This is just make what happen what you want. Let's just do it, and let's manifest that thing. And so yeah, I got acknowledged a lot for just being a big leader, in the circles I was in. And there's times I like my minister would be like, wow, after I give a talk or something, like maybe I should just leave now, that was so powerful or something. And so it's sort of like, I don't know if you guys can relate. So there's this whole dance with power that we're doing, and we kind of keep toning it down to please other people. And I think that's one of the biggest problems we suffer from in life. So it's definitely been part of my thing, but I learned to get out of that. That's where I broke out once I got, okay, again, fast forward, I'm online. Okay, there I am after doing therapy and starting to make some headway in my life and many areas without doing a whole life story. You can get that maybe in the interview, I don't know. But then I come out and I start calling myself the Blockbuster because I'm tuned in, and then I know how to just channel energy to help people, to empower them. And it's not maybe that I'm the best healer on the planet kind of thing, but it's just I know how to get people juiced up and then just dissolve their non-truth and just stand them in their power. And so that's my lovely soulmate came up with that for me. She says, "You're the Blockbuster." That's what you. So I didn't come up with it, just so you know. So it was given to me, and I was like, okay, that sounds fun. Who are you gonna call? The Blockbuster. Okay. So never did run those ads, but always wanted to. So I got out there, I started doing, I learned this energy scanning, like it came to me because I knew I was so tuned in through certain experiences I had that I won't get into. And I started scanning people, and even psychics that were professional are like, I'm blown away. How could you do it? And you do it fast. And, how can you do that? And so I started realizing I had something to share with the world, not only with my coaching and energy clearing and everything to help people live their passion and purpose, but that there were healers and psychics even that wanted to learn more about how are you doing it? How are you doing it? So then I trained, hundreds, if not thousands of healers in energy scan, tuning in and healing and gaining clients that way. Had a multi six-figure business doing that for years. And then 2017, I was told, stop, you're done with that now. And then I've been doing Your Sacred Purpose, where I just focus exclusively working one-to-one with people that are really powerhouses, that got big things they want to do in the world. And so I use my ability to tune in, channel, and strategize also in people's businesses to align them energetically, but also with their message and marketing and sales and everything, get everything it is proper level and of empowerment, and help you fly from there. And so I don't know if I'm supposed to mention what my talk is as well. If we're going to do that now or later, I've talked a lot already. I'm hogging too much time. So you let me know, Jennifer.
It's fantastic. I think right now we'll just having introduced the energy scanning, what the source of that was, and then if you can share that with Tiffany and we can see how it all works. And then we'll do some more shares after that with some of the other speakers and yourself. And we'll share the links again of what's coming up.
Okay. Okay. I had a feeling I might have gone off the rails. Don't give me the
No,
stage. Look out. Like
you're good.
I
You're
was
perfect.
too quiet for too long in my life. Sorry, guys. Okay, so yes, everybody's always asked me this question. There's going to be people curious. What are you channeling? Where are you getting this information? I'm just tapped in, guys. It's no specific entities or anything like. That's actually been a turnoff for a few people. Are like, you're not actually tuning into like certain entity groups or whatever. I'm out of here. So, so I think that's pretty funny. But no, it's just direct from source, and yeah, I'm sure I'm connected. All kinds of stuff. So yeah, let's do it for Tiffany. Let's just do it.
For Tiffany. And while you do, I'm just going to disable the chat temporarily, just so we can hold the energy, because this is really deep and powerful work. And I just want us to hold that space. So I don't know. No? Is that how we do it? Okay. I think I did it right. Anyway, don't chat while we're talking.
Let's chat just briefly, me and Tiffany. So Tiffany, can you come on?
Yes. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, great to meet you. So yeah, I could just dive into a reading if you want to. That might be fun. Or if there's something specific, you have a question, something you want me to tune into. Is there anything specific? And then I'll bring the rest anyway. But like, if there's something specific, let me know.
Right now, there's something really heavy on my heart. Like I'm soaring in my personal development, my business, but my dear sister, who is like a soul sister, we are very close. She is going through like a really bad mental crisis, and it's been going on for 8 months, and it's really taking its toll on me. And I know the universe has a plan for everything, but just really tuning into that and maybe clearing some of that energy or understanding it more would be helpful. Because I feel big things happening for me this year with my own personal journey. And there's this sense of feeling like I'm leaving her behind. So there's a sadness and a grief, but also such a joy and expansion and awakening of myself in my evolution and my spiritual evolution. So there's like this duality going on inside of me.
I see. I got it. Okay. So I won't ask more details in the situation. I'm just going to read because it's fun and also for efficiency's sake for time. So I'm just going to go ahead and start tuning in. I just use this ritual to help me have fun tuning in. So here we go. And what is her name again? Just so I make sure I'm tuning into the right energy. Just to double check.
Angel.
Angel, okay. What do you know, right? Okay. All right, so let me tune in again. I'm kind of looking at both of you right now. Okay. there's like a comparison between you two, maybe. So just listen, hear me out, because sometimes it doesn't make sense at first, but I kind of get like somebody saying like you're the fat one or something like that, or I'm the fat one or something like that. There's so it feels like there's this comparison, and then maybe it's like she's negatively evaluating herself. I'm not sure positive yet on that, but it's a feeling of like like sometimes we have that sibling that, boy, they got it together and I don't, and all this sort of thing. And I feel a lot of sadness come in around that. So anyway, so I'm getting that. Hold on. So what I want you to tell her, okay, is that I would love for you to tell her. It's up to you, but I feel like you should tell her that whatever she's dealing with right now, whatever's coming up for her, you should tell her, I just think and you probably have said such things, but you're just so, honestly, you're so amazing. You actually have held so much space for me and everyone, like she holds space for so many people. And that's probably why she's got that name, right? And she's held so much space, but she hasn't done it for her. She's not opening the space for herself to have the kind of, beautiful life that she would love to have. She doesn't even maybe feel fully worthy of that entirely. Maybe mentally she can get there, but in her energy, it's not there. So whatever she's dealing with, whatever her current struggles are, which even if you told me, I would have already forgotten by now because I'm just tuning in to her right now. And you just need to tell her you're amazing at just providing everyone with so much love and so much space. We know, okay, because she has her opinion. I get it, but like at the same time, she cares so much. So she can be very diligent and really overdo things at times. And then, maybe she kind of crashes and burns out or whatever. But so there's a lot of like, I can't ever get there with her. Okay, so that's what's going on. That's what she's now. When I tune into you in this relationship, let me do that now. Yeah, you're like leading, like you're like pulling her along is the vibe. Like, let me just pull you along. I'm gonna pull you along. Let me pull you along. So I'm hearing that that's not only is it not working, but there's something not correct in that stance. Okay, let's take a look. I don't know. It's a very simple message so far. It's just like to just know her wellness. Just like I refuse to hear the stories about her anymore that she's told about herself, and I sense and perceive she tells herself. I'm just going to see how perfect she is and how whole she is, and I'm not going to try to pull her up, because even if you're not consciously doing this, it just feels like this. I gotta pull her along. I gotta pull her up. She because who she is, how awesome she is. So you want that for her, but you've got to just acknowledge her wholeness and wellness, because that's what she can't do for herself, so you can bring that to her. Okay, so without trying to, and if she ever sees it or not, that's not the point. But that's your practice. Okay, all right, so let's see with you. Let's see what's going on with the sense of like, wow, I'm rising up. But what about her? Okay. I'm not sure what you do. I haven't, checked you out or anything, but so yeah, I do feel like it does feel like this women's empowerment energy, and that you can show people how they can be wizards, and like wizardly or sorceresses or whatever. And people have a lot going on, like women. Like I see the spinning plates. It's like it's so much easier than that. You don't have to, try to pull that trick off. You need to get into your deeper feminine power. So again, this may relate to what you're up to right now or not. I'm not certain yet, but I just like, come on, get into your deeper feminine power and rock it out, being just the powerful woman that you are. And that's the message I'm hearing. Hold on. Yeah, so because of your sister, so we all play different roles. Your sister did choose to play this role for many reasons. And one of the intentions is to help you with what you're doing right now. Okay. So, because you're like, come on, it's time for you now. It's time for you now. So that's the message for your sister, but that's your message then in the world in part, because you've done it too. You've had your issues too, but so it's time for you, is what I'm hearing. It's time for you to prioritize who you really, embodying who you really are, how amazing you are, and bring that forth into the world and laying aside, these other priorities, because you can manage all those a million times easier anyway when you're just really being as powerful and amazing and magical as you already are. And so let's see what else comes through real quick. I just get a sense of like the third eye wanting to open. You're very psychic, but it wants to open, and it's like the mantra maybe is like, I don't know, it's like I'm unlimited. It's like I'm unlimited. And I get a lot of emotion coming through. Like I'm unlimited, and energy opens really wide in you. Starts to open really wide in you. That's like it's like we haven't been able to see until now, but now like we can see all the possibilities because you're opening people energetically and psychically, and now they can see the possibilities where they couldn't see it at all. Maybe they knew about it sort of, but they couldn't really see it. So I don't know if this is helping or not. I just share what comes through, guys. So Tiffany, let me know like what's coming up. Feedback, yeah.
Super, super helpful. Thank you so much. Right on point with everything. I definitely feel that sense of my sister's got this, but then there's that carnal part of me that she has been there for me my whole life. She's my older sister, and I've always admired and looked up to her. To see her in this place is so heartbreaking because it's not who she is. But I also feel it's what she needs to go through. It's her spiritual awakening, her
Right.
initiation, if you will. So thank you for that confirmation, because there is a part of me that feels like if I take my hands off the wheel and something bad happens to her, I won't be able to handle the guilt for not trying. But I also feel that if I keep jumping in the ring with her, I'm going to sink. And
Yeah.
it's not my battle to fight. So that was definitely on point. And as far as the psychic abilities and the third eye, I've been hearing that a lot from a lot of different sources. So you just brought that confirmation up. I do feel this sense of clarity, more confidence in who I am, what I have to offer. I'm a very empathic, sensitive soul. So my whole life I have suppressed that because it was never acceptable. It was never understood. I relate to your story very much. I was always very weird and out there and too deep for people, and can I just have a normal conversation? And I hate small talk, like I can't stand it. So being able to open up to this type of community and be seen and accepted for my gifts and who I am, I could cry because it is so welcoming and so warm, and I feel at home here more so than I even have with my family. So that third eye opening, my clients do tell me that. I'm helping them see possibility. I had a client on our third session who was going to kill herself, and she hung on until we had our session, and now she's thriving and seeing the light, seeing the hope, seeing the possibility. So I find that with me seeing what's possible for me, I'm able to share that energy and pass that over to my clients as well so they can see it. So that was a that was a beautiful reading. Very spot on, and I'm so thankful for your gift, and I just want you to own it. Don't second guess it. You did amazing. And it was just, I felt it. I had chills, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, I'm always very humble because I just always take you just never know, right? I've been very cocky at times in my life with this stuff, and that's fine too, I guess. But I'm more after doing this for a long time. I just okay, no, I don't know. Is any of it right? I just no humbleness, who knows, right? So yeah, that's the reason for that. I don't second guess it, but yeah, thank you for saying that though.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm grateful. So yeah, I wish you infinite blessings and your sister, and yeah, but she's grieving a lot. You know, there's just tons of grief, lots of things she needs to process. So just know her wholeness and wellness. I think she'll find her way through it. And you holding that space now for her in that way is going to be beautiful.
Thank you.
Ah, that was so incredible and such a sacred experience to witness, to bear witness to. Thank you both so very much for sharing that and so openly for the world that's watching. And it's not just Tiffany and Daniel doing this. So many of you have these abilities, these gifts that need to be shared. And you probably heard similarities in any of the speakers that have been spoken already, the stories that we're facing either for ourselves or the loved ones that we have surrounding us. And so this really applies to anyone, right? You probably felt that energy healing for you too in some way, some insight that's been gained there. So thank you so much for that. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer.
And Tiffany, you mentioned a little bit about what you do with your clients. You want to share a little bit more on what your session is going to be about?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I am an emotional care coach, and I help women really transition through really hard times, really emotional times, and really work through and stay grounded in the midst of that chaos and uncertainty so that they can regulate their nervous system in the midst of anything. So it's not circumstantial related, it's more so they are coming into their power. I really help them find that within themselves. I call it a treasure hunt. We heal the trauma that is showing up as symptoms, and we really go through and find it in a really delicate, gentle, safe way so that they can discover who they are and what they're actually capable of, and discover strengths and power that they didn't realize they had, and being able to be brave enough to kind of go into the depths of those dark parts of themselves, into those soul wounds, as Adele was saying. I actually give them soul work every week, and it comes to us intuitively in the sessions, and I'm just kind of like their emotional tour guide, and I help them really find that grounding and that calm within themselves so that they can be safe to feel into their own power and be seated in their authenticity. So it's a really beautiful exchange. I get so much from my clients. They're always thanking me, but I thank them too, because it's I couldn't do it without them being willing to share and trusting the process and trusting themselves along the way. So I'll be sharing a method that I created. It's called the Calm Method. It's a 5-step method to own your peace. And it's really what got me through my dark night of the soul, my initiation. The way my trauma was showing up in symptoms was through my physical health. And I was experiencing a lot of anxiety, OCD, depression, and then physical illness and pain. And doctors were not able to help. They kept saying they didn't see anything wrong, or try this thing, try that thing, and nothing was really working. And when I discovered the key was really looking under the hood at my emotional health and what I was not allowing myself to feel, what I was afraid to feel because my body didn't feel like it was safe. I learned how to get out of my head. And it was Susan that talked about the body talk. I love that, Susan, because I call it, look, you got to listen to your body language. Trauma lives in our bodies. And so we can't figure that out. You can't figure out or fix your feelings. You have to feel them. And so that's what I'm going to be teaching, is how to come in out of your head into your body and really apply a method that connects you to yourself, allows you to validate and affirm what you're feeling in the state with no judgment, and really learn how to manage that process so that you can feel safe to open up that vessel and receive all the divine gifts. So I'm really excited to share that with everybody and hear what everybody else is going to be talking about. I can't wait.
Thank you so much for that, Tiffany, and for the work that you're doing and showing up to do it every day. And that's what I encourage all of us to do, is step up, show up, keep showing up every single day for yourself and for others who need you, who need your wisdom, who need your energy, who need your love. keep showing up. And let's just take another look around in this room here and just come back together, ground a little bit. Let's take another breath together. Breathing in and settling into your body, your beautiful body that holds so much and that functions in numerous ways that we don't even know, that we take for granted. Thanking our bodies. And taking a moment to be grateful for our emotions, for letting us feel, to moving the energy. Remember, emotion is energy in motion. Keeping that moving, not letting it become stagnant or stuck or hold it down. Let it out. Honor what's arising within you. Noticing what thoughts are on your mind right now, not attaching to any of them, but just noticing what's there. What's coming up for you. Tuning into your spirit. What does spirit feel like to you? And one of my mottos is free your spirit to direct the life that you're meant to live. That means not pressuring and pushing and trying to act accordingly to some kind of set conditions or expectations or obligations, but to free your spirit to direct the life that you are meant to live. Where does spirit lead you? How is soul guiding you? What brings you joy? Becoming aware of that. What brings you joy? What lights you up from within? And being willing to shine that light. And there's a speaker here that knows all about joy. And her session's all about embodying our most highest lucrative joy. And that's Anik Patri. So let's hear from you. How do we do that?
I knew you'd pick me. It's good to see all these shining face. It's incredible, the energy here. I want to firstly congratulate you, Jennifer, for your powerful manifestation of bringing a global soul family together. It's very, very well received in my heart. I'm a bit moved also by hearing everyone shares, and so I'm an empath, of course. I'm an empath, and I'm still learning to really embodying and accepting this incredible sensitivity and power as a creator that lives inside this human body. So yeah, embodying your highest lucrative joy sounds good, huh? I mean, it's a journey. I tell you what, it doesn't happen just like that. And it's you know, we really teach, I believe, that we teach what we need to learn the most. But I suppose I, like all of us, you know, I've been through big challenges, adversity. I did have the near-death experience. I'm the third person here who had that. 5 years ago, I've been going through a divorce. I've been you know, living on 3 continents, like, which, I mean, it's not necessarily a challenge. I've been going through big experiences, and I guess the core of my learning and teaching is to tune into your true nature, to really reconnect to your core essence. And through all these big challenges, especially the near-death experience I had, I really tuned in, and I really realized that I'm actually fully connected with spirits and with angels and with like a whole bunch of woo stuff that, you know, and I realized that, well, you know, I've got a team here. I've got a divine team around me, and they're here to help me to share my juju. And this is what I do best, is I actually touch people's heart, and I bring them into their true joy, their core essence, into what makes them more alive than ever. And yeah, so that's what I'll be talking about. And through all of that, I love singing. I've always loved singing, and that's been helping me to go through, you know, the pain and the suffering and all the range of emotions. I mean, they still come. This week I had a big a big challenge, for me anyway, that brought like the little girl, the inner child. She came and she felt the rage. And but now I've got the tools, and I've created this modality. I mean, there's downloaded this modality that I called voice tapping. And it's using sounds, using voice, and using emotional freedom techniques, like using tapping, energetic tapping onto your physical body, because a lot of you shared, it's all happening in the body, right? Like all the traumas, all the fears, all the stuff is in your sexy body. So the body gives you a lot of pleasure, but it can give you a lot of pain. And so I've created this voice tapping modality. It's been helping me to release a huge amount of fears, huge amount of traumas, and it's been helping my clients to manifest like crazy stuff, like house here on the beach in Bondi Beach in Australia, where I live. I've been living for 20 years. Mansions, manifesting soulmates, manifesting doubling their income in their business, really kind of like, you know, showing up in the next level of next version of themselves. So so this is what I love. There's 50% of my work that it's deep inner work, and there's 50% of my work that's creating magic, and I love that. So that's what I'm about, and I'm excited to share my my talk that's pre-recorded, but I'm really excited to share that with you in the summit. I'm such, you know, I'm really touched, really moved, and really honored to share the magic with you. And thank you.
Thank you, Anique. And yes, she's going to take us through an incredible voice tapping experience in that session. So I'll put the information again so you have the schedule, so you can write down and note who you want to see, when you want to see them, all of the things.
Okay, yeah,
So that's
too.
there.
Yeah, when
all of you are aware. You know what else we all want more of? Money. Money, money, money. And sometimes it could be a dirty topic. It brings up so many different emotions. And we have a master prosperity coach here, Joel Solomon, and he is going to give us a whole new way of thinking about money. So Joel, you want to share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Thank you for doing this, Jennifer. It does touch my heart as well. You know, we have people from around the globe, and you know, we are all one, and yet we don't know we're all one. So we need to share with the world that we are, and teach them and be the light workers. I know, probably like a lot of you, I have visibility issues. My biggest fear in life 6 years ago was public speaking. You asked me to speak in front of more than 2 people like this, I would have said, just kill me. No, please don't. But I knew when I shut down my hedge fund that I needed to do some public speaking to get out there, because I wanted to share my message, and worked really hard in overcoming that fear. I joined Toastmasters, even did some EFT, some tapping, which I also taught to my daughter to overcome some anxiety a few years ago. I talked about it in my book, Mindful Money Management. Believe it or not, I talked about tapping in Mindful Money Management. So let me tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I just told you I shut down my hedge fund. So I went to a personal development course in December 2015, and 2 things happened there that completely changed my life. One was that we had a guest speaker speaking about stocks, or shares, as some of you call them in Australia or UK, or stock options. And when this guy was talking about stock options as a guest speaker for 1 hour, he made it sound easy. He said, you don't need much time, you don't need much money. This is how the rich people get rich. And options are essentially risk-free. And I was sick to my stomach. It was day 2 of the conference, and people knew I was a hedge fund manager. So they would tap me on the shoulder, or whisper in my ear, Joel, does this make sense? Or options really riskless? So after he was done, we went out of the auditorium and I told him, please don't do this. He has no idea about any of you individually. And most importantly, no idea about your belief that you can become rich using stock options. Now, second thing that happened at that personal development course was we were given a wooden board 2 inches thick, and we were told we we're going to break it with our bare hand. Anybody ever do this? It's a lot of fear in the room. The exercise was called Obstacles Are Illusions. And on one side of the board, we had to write our biggest obstacle. And on the other side, our ultimate goal, which stumped me for a while. And then it hit me. Make everyone in this room financially free. And then I broke the board like everyone else did that day, the 200 people. I went home that night and I couldn't sleep. First, the guy was in my head. And I realized if I could ever get up the courage to speak in front of more than 2 people, I could be of service, tell the truth, not lie to people, and really help them. And then the second thing going on in my head at 4:30 in the morning was that wooden board staring back at me. Make everyone in this room financially free. And I think it hit me about 4:30 in the morning. I quickly jumped out of bed, got dressed, commuted into Manhattan, and I sent an email to my investors telling them I'm giving them the money back. I'm shutting down my fund. I figured out my true purpose in life. So that's why I'm here. I'm here. I figured it out, maybe 50 years too late, but maybe 50 years early, to help people become financially free, to tell them the truth about money. I believe we were truly created to thrive, not survive. And you all have a awesome gift to share with the world. And if you're struggling, then you can't do your purpose. And just imagine if you were making an extra 10 or 20,000 Aussie dollars, or US dollars, or Canadian dollars, how much more good you could do in the world if you could just give all that away. So that's my purpose, and I'm sticking with it.
Thank you, Joel. It's amazing. And the session on the 9 money rules that millionaires use is going to blow your mind. Just saying. Probably things you wouldn't even expect to hear. So excited for that one.
Me, Jennifer.
You know, one of the myths is that if you're spiritual, you shouldn't make money, or that you shouldn't charge for services. Like, how many of us have heard that before? And Daniel Hanneman has a way of being and thriving both spiritually and abundantly, where you can find abundance spiritually and financially, actually, is what it is, I think. Can you tell us about your session, Daniel, what you're going to be talking about?
Yes, thank you. So yeah, I'm talking about what you just said, because there's this sense of disconnect. I remember the first time I asked this in a room, I think I only probably done it a couple of times, but I asked, I remember at a live event setting I was at, and there's about only 19 people in the room, but some of the people were successful financially. And I asked, well, who has a disconnect between spirituality and money? And every single hand in the room went up. Nobody held back. So there's this sense of like, can I be this pure light of being and spiritually connected and actually, you know, go after money and be about both things and have it all? And although people say mentally they can and they embody it to a level, I think it's pretty universal. If people feel this sense of a conflict around it. And so I talk about that, the myths around that and where they come from and, the Bible and, the misinterpretations of the Bible and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's what I talk about in part. And honestly, there's a lot that I've talked about in there. I'm sure, Jennifer, I have no clue what I said. So I just kind of channel what I say most of the time. So I'm like, I just generally, I had to look up the topic again. I'm like, what did I talk about? Didn't remember any of it. So sorry about that. But it's a
No,
cool
it's
section
going to be
for sure.
amazing. Yes, tune in. The schedule's in the chat there, and it's a link. And if you're watching the replay, all those links will be in the video description that we'll put up there on YouTube. And there's some other speakers here too. Paige Frizone, infinite love and gratitude, girl. She's
Oh
all
my
about that.
gosh.
And tell us more.
Yes. So nice to meet all of you. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you, Jennifer, for everything that you've done to host this incredible event. Gosh, I'm really moved by all these shares. And, this is a journey of world peace through inner peace. I just am resonating so much with the people here about the empathy and the trauma and upgrading the cells of your body from a subconscious level is where I insert my wisdom into this summit. So so we in our talk about the value, the impact of these words, infinite loving gratitude. We pair them with this I love you hand posture, which you'll see in American Sign Language. It's a universal healing frequency. We communicate dominantly non-verbally. So when we can use our intentional energy and our attentional energy and focus that towards harmonizing the cells of our body, we can upgrade into a place of optimal wellness. And so I really geek out about all things subconscious, the 95% of the brain that is responsible for signaling symptoms and emotional patterns and thought patterns and trauma that is stored and stuck. So I help clients journey through that 95% and locate root memories that are responsible for keeping emotional stagnance in the system. And when we can unleash or liberate those memories that are responsible for present day stress, disorder, and dis-ease, we can really live a life of our truest design. And so we journey into the subconscious. We talk about it from an educational lens during this talk. We do a little bit of an experiential together, and we'll do something called the connection. And it's about acupuncture without needles, which is really fun, just to align the mind, the body, and the spirit into the present moment. I use a system called the Lifeline Technique. It's integrative medicine. It incorporates 14 modalities from Eastern and Western combined. So I have this beautiful bridge between intersection of spirituality and science. I love coming at things from a transpersonal perspective. And for me in my own healing journey, I lost a decade of my life to anorexia, severe depression, anxiety, self-harm, ineffective prescription medication. I was in and out of treatment, intensive care, could not hold down a job or finish school or a relationship. And it was only 2 years ago, actually, as a result of getting off medication, that I accessed like the rest of my life's memories that were completely blacked out. And so I had a lot of repressed sexual trauma that came through, and a lot of that I do directly correlate with subconscious healing. Subconscious emotional processing, I find, is really expedited. Instead of something like a conventional therapy system, we get to the root really fast. And so we get to upgrade the cells really quickly. And I really love seeing the miracles that this presents every single day. So we're going to be talking about all of those types of topics together in our talk, and really a poem of mine that came through on the day of the summit that we recorded it, which was so beautiful, about how to handle emotions and how to treat them like messengers and guests in your home. And so there's a little bit of parts work there that we throw in as well. So I'm so passionate about bringing this integrative lens to the Western treatment center world. And from an empathic perspective, and having been pathologized my entire life, I really was able to liberate myself into a place of self-healing, and I love helping empower others to do the same. So I had chronic night terrors as a kid up until age 7, when my brain was not fully developed. A lot of past life stuff, a lot of psychic and spiritual invasion, and a lot of that triggered me into the spirituality that I have now, which is really intimate and personal and unique. And I was addressed I was introduced to guides and angels really young. I had dream catchers in my room throughout my life, so I was protected and all these types of things. And I learned about the difference between spiritual emergence versus spiritual emergency, and how we are deemed neurotic when we have these awakenings and these ascension symptoms and all different types of awarenesses in this life. And so I'm here to help people understand that, and also to learn how to train themselves to heal. So I'm so grateful to be with you all. I appreciate you. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Paige. That was amazing. I mean, you brought in so many things there. And this is what we're coming to now, is this integration. Everything we've ever done before, even these lives probably had multiple past lives within this lifetime. Anybody feel that? And beyond, right? Like all of that's integrating, all of that's preparing us for this time right now. And it's real accelerated ascension. All these modalities are coming together, being fused together, and just accelerating our healing process, taking us through that rite of passage. Any stages of transformation is going to start with that awareness, going through the rite of transformation, and then the rebirth that happens, this emergence. But sometimes it feels like an emergency. And so we need to take care of that. We need to tend to that like right away, right? Because it's urgent, it's emergency. And there's so much that you're bringing into that. So again, another session that's going to be absolutely incredible. And remember, if you have an all access pass, you can access all of these sessions at any time. Like you're going to have these forever. These aren't just talks or interviews, or these are actual workshops. There's exercises, there's practices, there's tools and strategies and different processes that you can use and implement in your life right away. And another person that brings in all the things we've been talking about, the channeling, the voice, the connecting with your life purpose, is Robin O'Donovan. She has an amazing story. She's a singer, a songwriter. She's an author who downloaded this full book and gives complete credit to Spirit for guiding her through it all. And she's about to share all of that with us right now. Robin.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm Robin O'Donovan. I am the founder of My Energetic Tribe Coaching. I am, as you mentioned, the author of The 7 Core Life Purposes, which was a book given to me by God, all in one fell swoop. The 7 Core Life Purposes are an amazing paradigm for how our soul can express the highest expression of ourselves. And so after reading that book, that became the foundation of my work as a life purpose coach for mission-driven entrepreneurs. And yes, I'm also a professional piano singer songwriter. I use my songs as part of my toolkit to uplift and inspire and just drive home the messages, and just to channel important things that need to be encapsulated and brought forth as well for my tribe. So I help you come home to who you really are, claim your core life purpose from the 7 core life purposes, and map a clear, easy, fun, fulfilling, and abundant plan to live your life purpose. And as one of my taglines is, get paid to exist. Instead, quit existing just to get paid, and get paid to exist as the 100% authentic you living your purpose. So my talk in the summit, my story is in my book. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time tonight, but I've been on an 11-year, almost 12-year journey of awakening that started with getting rid of food toxins, and I got my mind back, and then just one thing led to another. And as part of that journey, my family and I ended up selling everything we owned and going on the road, living as nomads for a year. And that was part of what really began to anchor me in to come home to who I really am. And it also showed me, through meeting and talking with people on that trip, it showed me how people can be really lost without their job, without their home and their old environment, without, when roles change, when hobbies change, when lifestyles change, people don't understand that they've anchored their purpose into these things that are really just on the shifting sands. And so what I help people do is understand that your purpose is so much deeper than that. And I talk about this in my talk this week, uncovering a few myths about life purpose. Your job is not your purpose. So I explain that more in my talk. My talk is about how to embrace the new purpose-driven economy that we are now entering. It's so exciting. The product-driven economy on the way out. All of us here are very much part of that new purpose-driven economy. And I am so honored to be among you in this group. My talk is called Pivoting with Purpose, Transition to Transforming Lives. And I will cover 4 things: how and why you keep getting it wrong about what your life's purpose is and what it might be costing you, and what it means to live in the new purpose-driven economy as the product-driven economy crashes around us. And that's not a disaster. That's a good thing. That's just fine. And we're all here doing our part to build this new purpose-driven economy. The third thing I will cover in my talk is an introduction to the 7 core life purposes, what they are, and a few opportunities for you to figure out which one really resonates with you, which will just completely recolor your world when you wake up in the morning, knowing that. And last, I'm going to encourage and show everyone how you can become a lighthouse to your energetic tribe and elevate the emotional frequency of those around you and of the world, which I know is the path and the mission of everyone here in this beautiful virtual room. So my free gift this week is my quiz, What is your core life purpose? And I love, if any of you want to take it too, I love, just email me back. Like, I love talking to people about their core life purpose, answering any questions and just riffing on that. And, I've had hundreds of people take the quiz. I've been working with a number of clients in the past 6 months and just helping them launch their purpose-driven businesses and projects. So much fun. I'd love to talk to any of you. Great to be here. And you can find me at energetictribe.com. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Robin. Thank you so much. You're just beaming light and love, and I just love it. Thank you for all that you do. It's just amazing. Yeah, questions and answers, that's important too. And this was a live event today where we got to do some introductions and to see some energy scanning, and we'll hear a few more introductions next Saturday though. So after this, the summit, of course, is Monday to Friday next week. So definitely be there for that. And then Saturday, we're doing another live event, a question and answer period with more speakers, some of the ones you see here and some ones that are only able to make it to that. So it'll be a good opportunity for you to come again, join us, and get some questions answered. If you don't think you're going to be here, you can email me at jennifer@lightingthepath.ca with any questions you have, and I'll make sure to pass that on. But joining us right now, all the way from Singapore, is Jenny Vaz. And I love what she has written here. I don't know if everyone can see it on the screen. It's "Love is who you are." Jenny, so glad to have you here. And thank you for sharing that, reminding us that we are love.
Yeah, hi everyone. Oh my God, my heart is it's just beaming. It's just swelling up. I feel like it's bigger than me, my physical body right now. And hearing all your stories, hearing how you got started, and even hearing how you did not get started, which is the space that I play in, because I grew up in a time, and I know we still have those times, where you're told that you cannot be your weird, wonderful selves. You have to look like everybody else. You have to smell like everybody else. And I'm all about, oh, just smell like you are. Smell as you are and rock your powerful self. And that for me is where your zones of genius lie. Because when they chance upon opportunities where you can create impact, where you find your purpose, where you change someone's life, that is where the magic begins. And that's what we're looking for. And we need more of that. And my head is all like it's blank, and I can feel the surge of energy come through me as I share this, because enough of waiting for permission to rock our beautiful selves. Enough of waiting for someone's approval. And really just go out there and shine, vibrate. And then, I love this quote from Paulo Coelho, the alchemist. He says, you will probably never see the difference you're going to make in this world. I'm paraphrasing. You probably never get to see it. But I'll tell you, it's happening. And I can vouch for that. It's happening. Just by you being your beautiful selves, you're shining your light, and you're giving someone else the permission to go, oh, I can do that. How? And that's the first step. The first 2 steps. I can do that. How? And I love this mission that we're on. Jennifer Regular, my gosh, you amazing lady. When we had that conversation, I was like, now I know why I met you. You're on this amazing mission to really change the world. And I love what you're doing right here in this room, the vibration. Whew. I can feel it all the way from Singapore. And my purpose really is to help all of us just shine in our zones of genius, completely zog out, as I call it, completely zog out. And on top of that, I tell my clients and everyone who wants to know how to do this, that your entire responsibility is 2%, because the universe has your back, so it's got the 98. We think we need to be responsible for 100%. We're like, no, you've just got 2%. And why do I pick 2% of all the random numbers, right? Because I look at science and I look at engineering and tech world, and I see every time we discover something, they will say, oh, by the way, we discovered something else behind it that we didn't know about. So universal knowledge, as we know it, human knowledge will only be at 2%, because the unknown lies in the rest of that 98, the cosmos and everything beyond it. And look at the marvels we've had with just 2%. My mom is 84, and I'm looking at the world through her eyes and how she's seen. You know, she had to travel to Singapore from India on a ship. She is seasick. She'll never get on a boat again. And when she went back to visit her family, she flew. She was gobsmacked. And with just 2%, we've come pretty far in humanity. So why do we fear that we need to have everything in a row? We need to be perfect. Our zones of genius lie in our imperfections. And it's because we each, look at this room now, 10 of us, that's 20% rocking out together. 20%, you can already feel the vibration. Imagine now with everyone who's attending, everyone else is 2%, just tapping into the frequency. Imagine the magnitude of that, the power of that. And that's why it's okay. Go ahead and shine. Be your weird, wonderful selves. And that's my message. That's my message. Don't wait for anyone else to tell you that you can rock as you are. Just your 2% is good enough. Let everything else take care of itself. It's all done. It's all provided. And with the 2%, you will get one step, the next step. Because they know if we give you everything, you will freak out. So just take that next step, and then the path will reveal itself. Oh, the options, the possibilities. And let the 2% guide you on what you need to grow into, who you get to be, how you get to be in this moment. It's not about yesterday, it's not about tomorrow, it's right now. How are you being? How are you embracing your beingness? And that's where the love is, isn't it? That's where you connect with the love. The love that you have, you were born with. You were designed by that love. And we're not waiting for the love to happen to us. We're accepting that love that's within. And that's how I want my clients to show up, whether they're rocking it in their business or in their careers, or showing up in life. It's not an easy gig, I won't deny it. Even with 2%, we have our challenges. We've had our moments of doubt, but it's okay. That's part of the process. It's part of the process. There's good enough amount of certainty in just that 2%. If you want to catch more of this, find me on Linktree. I'll drop my link in the chat. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you so much, Jenny. You did our name good. I resonate with all of what you said, so much, and your energy, and it's just, oh, it's just so beautiful. And just zogging out in our zones of genius. 2%. I mean, we can handle that, right? It kind of takes the pressure off. What a relief. We only need the 2%. But what kind of life do we want to have? What kind of life are we creating? What would it be like to have an enchanted life? This is something Cassandra Trello talks about. And I'll let her tell you what an enchanted life could look like.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm honestly just vibrating with juicy goodness in my body, listening to all of you amazing people all over the world. I feel so blessed and honored. So thank you for having me part of this. And yeah, I am an enchantment coach. I help women who are struggling. I call them overwhelmed overachievers, looking for all the things outside of themselves to fill themselves up, not feeling worthy from the inside. I help them slow down, connect to their body, and create an enchanted life. And this was my journey, you know, looking for all of the things outside of me: drugs, sex, people, my business, money, to validate who I was. And I started studying embodiment work. I love that so many of you have touched on the power of being in the body and accessing, you know, the subtle sensations that are there. The more that we tap in, and how much wisdom is stored in there. So I use my study of the art of presence to guide my clients to connect within, help them slow down, you know, shift from impulsive behavior of overeating, overspending, overdoing all the things, and really, how can we find that connection with the self and build that foundation from the inside? And this is what I call enchanted living. So yeah, our talk is about the 3 E's that I teach my clients, or that I teach people, on how to live an enchanted life, and a super simple framework to help you tune to what I call enchanted FM, right? The radio station that is always broadcast for us all the time, that we can just tune ourselves into, tune ourselves out of gloomy or reality FM. And yeah, it was a really fun conversation, and hopefully, you know, it sheds some more openness and expansion for those that want to connect to their own enchantment, as we all are on this path together. You know, I just felt this really strong moment of hearing this line, "What is personal is universal." And as all of you were sharing, I was just like, yeah, I connect with her and him. And like, all the stories were just so heart opening. And so, yeah, I appreciate all of you. And I'm so excited to listen to all your talks, and so excited for this journey together. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. All of you are amazing. And I'm seeing in the comments about Enchanted FM, like you really started a trend there. We'll all be tuning into that one. Let's tune
Yes.
into Enchanted FM frequency. Love that.
Yes, it's super fun. Let's do it all together.
Yeah. So good, so good. And so this is a taste of the speakers, who they are, what they're about, what they'll be sharing, what you'll be experiencing more of all throughout the summit next week. I see that there's a few attendees here, so I'd love to hear what's been resonating with you, what's exciting you, what are you excited about to hear about in the summit? What are you looking forward to now, and what do you can't wait to hear more about? What is it that you feel that you need, or that you'll be given, or do you have any expectations, questions, inspirations, insights that you need? How can we support you? How can we serve you? So you can share your voice right now live with us, or you can put something in the chat. We'd love to hear from you too. So let's give that a minute. If anyone wants to come on with that, write down any comments. People are like in the K God radio. Amazing. Lots of love being shared in here. All right. Well, It's been quite a journey we've been on in these 90 minutes. Absolutely incredible energy and insight and love and the energy scanning. Thank you, Daniel, again for that. It's all just so, so amazing. And there's more to come. This is just the pre-launch. So I'll put all the links again in the chat so you can check out the schedule, consider getting that all access pass, register for Strength for the Struggle if that's something that calls for you. Check out our sponsor site for our sacred community. I know you're going to find more people like this there. And there's so many different tribes that you can choose from so that you can feel fully supported and surround yourself with the best possible people. You know, we're an average of the 6 people we hang out with the most. So really consider who you want to be spending the most time with, who's going to be inspiring you. It's always nice to have one of those people a few steps ahead of you so you have something to aspire to, someone who inspires you, also someone who challenges you, because that's what helps us grow, helps us to practice, what we've been learning along our journey and to strengthen that, to hone our skills and to be able to self-regulate and find deeper connections with others. So I am so grateful for all of you that have been joining us and that are joining us later on the recording and the recorded replay. I'll put that out on the YouTube channel for everyone to watch. I'll put it in the next newsletter as well, so you have an instant link to it. Again, I'm just so very, very grateful. Thank you.